Anyways, okay, let's go. Three of these, and I can farm some artifacts. Where do I go? Here. After we're done with the domain, then we'll do the quest. Just on this PlayStation. Cyno.
What could the children do?
So yeah, let's do it. Pop, 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 pop. 3 times should be good.
Into the wind.
I wonder how long the Cyno can take. Imagine it's like 30 minutes long. That is crazy though. 30-minute long quest. So 3.
Teamwork is strength. Your grand finale. And step.
One with nature. Fallen leaves. Adorn my night. This is where
Let's see. Oh. Oh, okay, crit damage. But it has bad stats though, so that's the thing. I want good stats. Why aren't they giving me good stuff? How much longer do I have to farm this? Please, I want to farm this longer. I just want to get this thing over with.
into the wind.
Overrule. Everybody stand. Break a leg. Flex up. And step.
The wind knows us. As one with wind and cloud. Laid bare. One with nature.
But honestly, it's pretty bad. At least I got full peace now. Oh my god. yeah, please, this piece. This piece is really good. Uh, this piece is very bad, that's the thing. Just level up this one. This stat is so bad. Unless if they like give me only attack, or like they give me crit like that. Yeah, might as well just go. Oh. Let me check. Attack only. Oh, well, I mean attack percentage, but okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Somehow that's very bad. What the hell? We got a pyro. That's the most one of credits. Let me check this. What about this one? How about this one? Oh, I'm running out of artifacts. Uh. Oh, that's really bad. Oh gosh. Wait. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's really bad. Since I think of 4 piece, I should be able to switch one of the pieces out. Yeah, this one. Definitely this one. Wait, what about this one? 7%. 44 now. Yep. Yep, that's okay for now. Honestly, this is the only good piece. This is meh. Eh. Really bad. So yeah, but for now it's good enough. It has better stats than my gladiator. That's a funny part. It has better stats than my gladiator, so this should give me more damage, even without the gladiator set. This is a 54% attack damage increase. Was it? Wait, let me check. Where is my? Let's test it out real quick. So this, and like this. This is the stats. 2, 4, 33. That's with an extra pyro. That's a crazy gun, actually. Wait, I think that's a 50 CD. Or what is it now? I don't know. Oh, 99. So that means it's higher. The stats is better. That's the thing. The stats better, but I don't know. But honestly, it could be better. That's the thing. It could be better.
The wind knows who's.
Oh, yep. This is definitely. Oh my God. This is so much better. And where is he?
Transfixed. Vengeance.
Go ahead. You're cramped
The
enough.
relic might
Into the
look
wind.
bad, but like, honestly,
Fallen
the
leaves.
damage is
Adorn her.
crazy good. 80k, 90k. Oh, holy! That's some crazy damage right there. I'm still gonna continue. At least I got full feet, so like, pretty bad. Whatever. Oh, what the hell? Double. What is good for? That's the thing. Who is the unfinished reverie good for? Let me go look at it. Oh.
Unfinished referee. Set artifact yang bisa bikin. I'm sure you've all seen the 4.6 special program, but have you checked out the 4.6 preview page? Because there you can find all the information about the...
Which weapon is the strongest according to the lore of Genshin Impact? The answer might shock you. I'm really sure Linda and I read the Genshin Impact lore that you...
Just now.
What if you could sell your characters for primos? Would you do it? Knowing how generous Hoyo is, we have to set some realistic rules for it. 45 wishes. That's the amount you're gonna get per 5-star salvage. Would you still do it? And who would you send to the beef grinder first? What if you could...
I didn't find anything, so I might not give anyone this unfinished reverie. I can't even look. Whatever. When is the next talent box? Oh, it's today. Oh. Well, damn. Damn. Wait, whatever. Let's go for. Wait, no, not farm. Let's go do the quest. What? The Narukami truck. Wait, that's not the quest. This is the quest. Seriously, go to the academia. Be back. I'm gonna go grab some snacks.
Wow, the academia sure is busy during the day.
I am back. Even though there's no one in here.
Where should we go looking for people that we know?
Traveler, Paimon.
It's been so long since we last saw you!
Welcome back to Sumeru City. I'm delighted to meet you again. So, what brings you back here?
Nothing in particular. Paimon just saw a really big mushroom out on the road the other day and suddenly missed all our friends to smear here.
Funnily enough, we were reminiscing about you recently too. It was at a group dinner. I look forward to hearing about your travels. Something tells me we must have a lot to catch up on.
Really? You were thinking of us too? What a coincidence!
Indeed. Or as I call it, the biryani factor.
Oh. This guy.
You really want me to say the rest? Okay. It's always nice to meet Stuart.
Wow. This guy.
You like that one, huh? You must if you remember it after all this time. Admit the truth. You have long been in awe of my razor-sharp wit.
Alright. Here's your 500 more.
You're exaggerating. It's only 500 more.
Hey, 500 more is still a lot of snacks to Paimon.
All right. I'll treat you to some desserts later. Anyway, I'm actually investigating a case right now. My mind is focused on work, which is why I didn't complete the joke at first.
A case? What happened?
Nothing major. But after finding out who was involved, I decided on reflection to handle this one myself.
Need any help? We only came here to hang out, so we've got the time. You may as well take us with you, and then when you're done, we can,
Such enthusiasm. Are you worried I'll forget about treating you to some sweets if you're not around to remind me?
Alright, was it really that obvious?
Obvious enough. Still, that's a fine idea. You are the heroes of Sumeru. It makes perfect sense to work together. All right, follow me.
Oath keeper. Damn.
Do you see him? The old man flailing around?
Oh, is he the one you wanted to talk to about the kid?
Correct. His name is Cyrus, a former Spontamon sage. He taught both me and Lisa.
Huh? Cyno's teacher is in trouble?
It's ridiculous. I'm just an old man who enjoys a spot of gardening, shopping, and wine. This little person targets an old retiree.
Professor, I've brought some friends.
Ah, Cyno. Now who do we have? Hold on, let me think. A flying fairy dressed in white? A youth who does not seem to hail from this land? My goodness. You must be the legendary traveler in Paimon. I've heard all about what you've done for Sumeru.
Wow, looks like we're really famous.
I've told him about you before. You are my friends, after all. That's right. Let me summarize the situation. A couple of days ago, Professor Cyrus suddenly received a threat letter.
A threat letter?
Oh, cool.
Exactly.
do
Who's
it.
a threat letter to an old man like me, for goodness sake?
This is the letter in question.
Cyrus, I've uncovered your secret. If you wish to prevent it from going public, leave 10 million Laura at the back door of the cafe. Secondly, don't come looking for me. You'll never find me. But I will always be watching you and all of your secrets. Finally, if you dare to report this to the mantra, there will be consequences. Wow, they sure didn't mince their words.
Clearly, this person must be desperate for more.
10 million more. What a joke. I'm just a single retiree with nothing to my name beyond the tomatoes in my garden. Where do people think I'm hiding 10 million more, huh? In my tomatoes?
There were no witnesses, so currently the letter is all we've got. So, Traveler, Paimon, let's put our heads together.
Yeah.
Paimon's ready too.
All right, take a look. Do you see anything suspicious?
Nope. Oh yeah, probably the paper.
Very good. The paper has a rather rough texture. It's not the typical kind you see in most books.
Another thing is, some of these strokes look kind of blurry. Could there be an issue with the ink?
Possibly. And I bet the paper has something to do with it.
Most of the paper around here is much smoother than this. And the ink is absorbed quickly so it doesn't run. This paper, meanwhile, it's very coarse-grained. Almost as if it's made from some sort of plant matter.
It's certainly not the same paper as we use in the academia, but the ink is nothing special. Just regular black ink that gets a blue tinge when applied to paper.
So do we think the culprit has a connection with the academia or not? Wait, check this out! Looks like this part got wet at something.
Agreed. The staining suggests it was a colored liquid, not plain water. It also looks like it was wiped off with a damp cloth.
A colored liquid, so... tea? Wine?
Looks like we're thinking along similar lines. Let's go talk to Arov. There are some things I'll need him to take care of.
There he is.
Mahamatra Cyno, Sir Silas, and the Traveler and Paimon. It's been a while.
As such, I'm inclined to believe that the culprit in this case is a student at the academia. Somebody young and strapped for cash. Oh, one last thing. I'd start your investigation by taking a look at the cafes in the city.
Oh, of course! You think the culprits spilled their coffee on the letter, huh?
They do look like coffee stains to me. Also, if I'm not mistaken, the letter is written on a type of scented paper that has aromatics added during the manufacturing process. The kind often provided as writing material for customers in cafes and taverns.
Ah, of course. Yes, like they sell in the gift shops. I remember now. Zaha Hadid bought some a while back. She said she was going to use it as wrapping paper for a vase.
Understood. I'll assemble a team to investigate the points of interest immediately.
You have my gratitude.
One last thing. Send some Matra to guard the entrances and exits of Sumeru City. And change into plain clothes. Don't let them see you coming.
Will do.
Great thinking, Cyno. So, where do we think the culprit's at right now? Yeah, they've probably been lying low at home waiting to see how Cyrus reacts.
You're right, partner.
Really?
The culprits approach. Whatever happens, they need this Mora. But just because they warned Professor Cyrus not to go to the Matra, doesn't mean they know what he'll do next. So, like you said, and crucially, the culprits said they'd be watching the professors every...
Huh? Wait, are you saying...
Found you!
Whoa, 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 chill out.
You wrote the threat letter!
I don't know what you're talking about.
I sensed someone was watching us from the shadows the moment we entered the House of Dana. You managed to stay relatively well hidden. For someone reckless enough to threaten Professor Cyrus. There are a lot of people here, but we were looking specifically for Arav. Whoever followed us the whole way was likely to be the culprit.
I was just listening in, that's all. You know something big's going down when Mahamatra Cyno shows up, right? So,
You smiled when Arav left. I saw it as clear as day.
Smiling a crime now?
There are coffee stains on the letter. You mixed some coffee with water, gently smeared it onto the paper, then wiped it off with a wet cloth. All to create the impression that the letter was written at a cafe. Closing off the exits to the city doesn't affect you, because you already live here. And as long as the Matra were focused on the cafes, you would be free from scrutiny. The cafe was a red herring all along. You had to be somewhere where you could monitor the professors.
You can't pin this on me! I haven't done anything!
Really? Then why are you shaking like a leaf? The innocent have no reason to fear the Matra. But your heart's racing, and your eyelids are twitching. You're a terrible liar.
I would never...
Don't try anything or you'll pay the price. Now come with me.
Holy shit. Damn. That was easy. Damn.
You're telling me. 1 minute I go out for a quick smoke, the next minute I see Arav already on his way back to meet up with Cyno. Looked like a young guy, too. Couldn't have been much more than 30. But after what he's done, I'm afraid he's ruined his whole future.
Everyone, it's all over.
Gosh, that was so fast!
The culprit's name is Rock, a 16-year-old student in the Ratawish Darsha.
Huh?
16! Cyrus thought he was 30 something!
We checked his records. He's 16, a third-year student.
But he looks so old.
Yeah, seriously!
Foolish child. He's too young for the criminal life. What the devil drove him down this path?
We questioned the culprit regarding his motives.
Oh, just spit it out. Nothing can surprise me at this point.
Very well. It's our understanding that Araka is a mediocre student who has been underperforming in his classes. He started taking extra tutoring to improve his grades, but developed a gambling habit around the same time and lost a lot of Mora.
What the?
Down on his luck, he went to the tavern for a drink and overheard some people chatting about Sir Cyrus's comfortable retirement. They mentioned that he's always arguing about his tomato plants with some old woman on the street.
Some old woman on the street? Goodness gracious. Has that rascal attended a single one of his classes? That old woman is Kasharwar's very own professor, Zaha Hadid. How can he not know who Zaha Hadid is?
Is this going somewhere?
Oh, right, yes. So another thing. We don't just argue about tomato plants. What are they trying to insinuate by comfortable retirement? A man grows a few vegetables and suddenly he's living a life of luxury?
Maybe it's more the fact that you have the time to grow vegetables in the first place.
Araka mentioned he'd heard a rumor, alleging that Sir Cyrus illegally obtained a large sum of money from the desert before retiring, and kept it for himself instead of reporting it to the Academia. Araka believes this money to be the reason why Sir Cyrus hasn't kept up with any academic research or other projects since his retirement. And given your advanced age, he thought you'd be an easy target to blackmail.
Oh, Raka. I'm at a loss for words. I'm so angry I don't know where to start.
People make up rumors all the time. I am quite confident that Professor Cyrus has never embezzled a Mora in his life.
Olive, you'll have to find some excuse to interrogate Araka again later. I need you to deliver a few firm fistfuls to him on my behalf.
I completely understand how you feel, Sir Cyrus, but I'm afraid that course of action goes against the Matra's principles.
Professor, there's no need to be childish about this.
Oh, come on. I was clearly...
Okay.
The Academia will determine the appropriate disciplinary action against the student. And as for the individual spreading rumors about the professor's obsession with tomatoes and some old woman on the streets, there could be a slander case here. The Matra will continue to investigate.
Who said I'm obsessed with some old woman on the street? Mind your wording or you'll start a whole new rumor. You seem confused. Uraka is just a young boy who made a very rash and very stupid decision based on some groundless rumor he heard. Besides, I didn't actually hand over any Mora to him. The whole thing sounds a lot worse than it is. All it costs is a little reputational...
Please rest assured, Professor, that the Academia will issue a fair and reasonable...
Yes, I have no doubt about it. But as a former educator, I'd still like to have a serious conversation with the boy's parents. The family lives in the city, yes?
Correct.
We looked into the family. Both parents are merchants, and they're often away on business. They've never taken much of an active role in their children's lives.
Oh, what a mess. You don't have to seal the evidence away yet, do you? I'd like to have that letter back for the time being, if possible. I need something concrete for when I talk to the family tonight. We have to show them how serious this situation is.
The relevant authorities have already reviewed the evidence and are now discussing Araka's punishment. You can hold on to the letter for now. Just make sure to return it within a couple of days.
Oh, so you'll be able to close the case in 2 days?
Give or take. Cases like this are quick to resolve.
Very good. Well, thank you for all your help. Perhaps we can all go for a meal together. Oh, my treat, of course.
My apologies, Sir Cyrus, but I have a prior commitment. Enjoy the meal, everyone.
Ah, I see. Well, that's a pity. But Cyno, you have to come. You found the culprit at record speed, and I owe you for that. Ah, and isn't Tainari in town at the moment? Bring him along, too.
Wait, you mean Tainari?
He is. Tainari's master, Sir Nephis, called him and Kale to the Academia to help out on a project. They should be at Nephis's office, though I must say, I'm surprised you're extending an invitation to Tainari. Did you do something to offend Sir Nephis?
Don't be outrageous. Nephis offends me all the time. It's never the other way around. Anyway, hurry up and fetch Tainari. I'll head over to the tavern with the traveler. Go on now.
Oh my god. Please don't let this professor do something stupid and like betray us or something. He seems chill. Oh yeah.
to brag, but we never had problems like this at Ratawa His back when I was still teaching. And if you don't want to take my word for it, you can ask them. It was students at the time. They'll tell you what it was like, won't they?
I was out in the forest at least 4 days a week back then, thanks to a colossal workload from Master. It wrought havoc on my poor tail, so I didn't exactly keep up to date with what was going on at the Academia. Most of what I know, I heard from Cyno after the fact. Professor's become a lot more laid back in his retirement. He used to be far stricter, and was especially known for being extremely principled.
Wow. It's hard enough to stay true to your principles as a normal person. I can't imagine doing that as a sage.
It's a pity Kale wasn't around at the time. I would have happily taken her on as a student.
And then we'd have one more person who has to address Lisa as upper-class woman.
Really? Can't you just call her Lisa? She seems to prefer it when people treat her like an older sister.
Oh, believe me. Back when she was a student, nothing made her happier than the younger students acknowledging her seniority.
Whoa, more food? Are you sure about this? We don't want to take the stand.
Oh, don't worry about it. Order whatever you like. And if it's not enough, order some more. After all your help today, treating me...
I thought I heard some familiar voices. Ah, and Sir Cyrus is here as well.
Oh, Kave, it's been a while. Zahahadi was talking about you last month. How have you been?
I've been all right, thank you. You're looking very well, sir. I'm glad to see it.
Have you eaten yet? Care to join us?
That's awfully kind of you, but I had a late lunch, so I'm not really hungry just yet. I'll have dinner a little bit later tonight. I just came to Lombard's to buy some wine, and when I heard some voices I recognized, I thought I'd come and say hello. So what's the occasion, anyway? Some sort of celebration?
Consolation, more like. You wouldn't believe the day I've had.
Sounds like things have really gone downhill since I was there. My whole time as a student, I've never heard of anything remotely like that.
I can't believe how young the guy is. Oh, what are his parents going to think?
Young people are always more susceptible to making rash and ill-advised decisions. Their minds are still developing. It's just an unfortunate fact of life. But still, this boy has some nerve. Just look at what he wrote. It makes my blood boil.
Wow, yeah. Jeez.
I will always be watching you and all of your secrets. And then I just followed you into the house of Dina?
If this were my son, he'd get the scolding of a...
Luckily, I'm also an extremely principled...
Kave! Your order's ready, sir!
Coming! I'll have to get going. Have a nice evening, everyone. I'll catch you all another time.
Okay, bye-bye!
Here I am. The coffee beans are in here too.
Yep, it's all there. I'll stop babbling away now. Let's eat before the food gets cold.
What the hell? Celebratory meal after a crazy day. That's crazy.
Oh, too tasty. My belly's about to explode.
Oh, mine too. I'll have to walk home to burn some of it off.
Thanks for dinner, Sir Cyrus. Master Tainari and I will bring you some homemade herbal tea next time. It'll do wonders for your sleep.
Well, I look forward to that. In fact, could I trouble you to bring a little extra for the other old folks on my street? I'll be the envy of the neighborhood.
No problem at all. I'll pack some up and bring it over.
Ah, I'll see you all later. I better head home now and tend to the crops.
Good night, Professor. Don't let those tomatoes keep you up too late.
Hey, my tomatoes are serious business. I am not about to be beaten by Zahadi. Anyway, I'll be leaving now. Don't stay up too late now, children. I bid you all a good night.
Take care. Have a safe trip home.
All right. Now, we finally have some us.
What do you mean, us?
Well, I was talking with Tainari and Kale, and since we all have some free time, we thought we could all go camping together. Think of it as our way of welcoming you back to Sumeru.
Camping? Oh, that's
Ooh.
fun! Right? It's been so long since we did something fun together. I can't wait.
Everyone, let's meet tomorrow afternoon at the riverbank to the southeast of Gandharvaville. No need to bring anything. We've already packed everything for the trip. Just bring your delightful selves and prepare to have some fun.
You got it!
Great. Then we'll see you tomorrow.
Hooray. Getting that fast. Jeez. Next day at 2. Okay.
Thank you for coming.
So, so 2 because, yeah.
Time to set up. Let's head to the southeast of Gandharvaville and meet up with the others.
Boys, so I'm gonna walk there. What is it? How far is Gandhar? Oh wait, never mind. That is far. Put this down too because it's so right in the sun. I don't like. Holy. Oh, we're just gonna be camping here. Oh, so we're gonna go to like the desert or something.
Wow, you guys are ahead of the game.
I'd say we're right about on schedule, actually. We were aiming to have them set up before you arrived.
Traveler, Paimon, let's go fishing together. Whatever we catch, we can grill for dinner tonight. You got it! Dinner's on us tonight!
Yeah.
I hope I can contribute too. The other forest watchers gave me some fishing tips a little while ago. I'm really looking...
I saw some very appetizing mushrooms in the area, so I gathered a few for us. I'll leave them here along with some fresh fruit.
Wow, camping with the forest watcher is the way to go! They think of everything! And even if they don't, they can improvise!
And this is true. I don't think I've ever had a single rough day in this fort.
So, how is everything?
Well, there's been some high points and low points, but we've had some unforgettable...
I see. Oh, in that case, you should try a valberry. I bought some from the market.
A valuable suggestion. Just don't bury your feelings using food.
All I wanted was to recommend something bittersweet.
Oh, I have a sudden craving for fruit tea. I'm gonna go fetch some stuff.
She sure made a run for it.
Unbelievable. She made a run for it.
So Kale chose the path of tactical retreat. Could it be she foresaw what shall soon come to pass? My dear friend, you know what I am about to say.
It's ingenious invocation time.
Excellent. A kindred spirit. A great warrior can sense when a duel is nigh. But it looks like we'll get told off if we start playing now. Let's enjoy the nature for a while.
He's scared. Right, whatever. Is Collie okay? Where is Collie? Don't tell me Collie. Something happened to Collie. Birds chirping away, the soothing sound of running water. This is nice. No agenda, just relax and enjoy myself.
We gotta fight!
Oh. That's good
I'll
to know.
reel it in.
Firewood, spices, snacks, and drinks. Everything's ready. Once Kale gets back, we can light up the fire.
Where is Collie?
There are 3 tents. Which one do you two want to take?
How about the one on the left? Well, Paimon just thinks the ambiance here is a little better.
True. But it's also the closest to the water. If there are any sleepwalking fungi around tonight, they might stumble into your tent.
Well, that's not good. Take my weapon. You can use it to bar the...
Anyone would think you were sealing the gates to King Deshret's mausoleum.
Excellent. Then this tent will be an impenetrable fortress.
I'm back! How's your appetite? Ready for the barbecue? Always.
What took her so long?
Oh, it smells.
Someone sure is desperate to eat. I think it's time to add the seasoning. How do you like your skewers? Well done? Medium? Rare?
Wait, what? Isn't that just for... Hey, if it works for steak, maybe it would...
Medium well for me.
Okay, these are about ready now then. It'll be a few more minutes for anyone who wants theirs well done.
Oh, that was so delicious. If Paimon's stomach had space, she'd eat 3 more skewers. I ate a lot too. Here comes the food coma.
If you're tired, then go rest.
You must be getting sleepy too, Paimon. Why don't you guys head to your tents?
Tonight I show you mercy. Our sacred duel will take place another day.
Good night. Paimon's struggling to keep her eyes open.
Oh, don't forget this. The staff of the Scarlet Sands.
Wait, you were actually being serious about that?
It's a very powerful weapon. Try it.
Paimon can't even lift that thing.
Fair enough. You sure you don't want it?
Yeah, Paimon's sure. We'll be fine. And even if we do get an uninvited guest in the night, Paimon will be here to take care of the traveler.
Huh? Oh, look at that. His weapon changed. It's not a dual blade anymore.
That reminds me of a parting king of invocations. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. But right now, it's time.
I think they should all be here. Traveler? Paimon? Are you in there?
Look at this.
What's this sword doing here?
Evidently.
What? Who is it? Paimon's gonna take out the sword. Yeah! Oh, hey, Kage! What are you doing here?
Sorry to wake you up at this hour of the night.
Let's get dressed and talk about it outside.
Something has come up. And since it pertains to Cyrus and Cyno, I deem...
Whoa, back up. Let's start from the beginning. Where'd the wine cups go? I could have sworn I left them here after I washed them. Ah, there they are.
I'll have a cup too.
Can you see if the cookies are still on the table?
They are. And so are the...
Oh, this is so bland. I should have gotten a few bottles of what Cyno's group was drinking.
Do tell. What were they drinking?
Oh, right, I forgot to mention. So, I ran into Cyrus yesterday evening when I went to the tavern to pick up some things. He was hosting a dinner for Cyno, Tighnari, Kale, and the Traveler and Paimon. Anyway, they got a bottle of Lombard's new vintage for the table. At least, I think that's what it was.
Sounds like...
You know what it's about, right? 16-year-old kid tried to extort Cyrus. He was asking for
I heard some people talking about it on the streets, yes. Didn't take them long to catch the culprit. The sages are probably dealing with the case.
I wonder what Sir Nephis and the others will make of it. Oh, Cyrus showed me the extortion letter, too. It was crudely written, but the paper had this beautiful pattern on it that I've never seen before. Give me a sec. I'll sketch it out for you.
Look at them.
Okay, done. Take a look. You see what I mean? I don't think I've ever seen writing paper like this around before. God knows where the culprit got it from.
Interesting. These are all motifs associated with the tribes of the desert.
What?
Take this, for instance. Looks like an outline of a spire, similar to the kind found on some ancient palaces. And the crisscrossing and mirroring here. I recognize that too. It bears a striking resemblance to an ancient emblem. One that hasn't been used in a very long time.
Whose emblem is it?
It's the emblem of the Temple of Silence.
Temple of Silence.
After discussing it with each other, we both agreed that something didn't feel right. This was a long way to come from the city. Alhaithan figured you were probably with Tighnari, so Gandharvaville was our first stop. But the Forest Watchers told us that you'd gone camping. Then, just as we were heading off to the campsite, we ran into Cyno. He said he was on a supply run. We exchanged a few words and...
Hold on. So what's the deal with the emblem you were talking about? The Temple of...
Is everything okay? Give me a sec.
So you've never heard of the Temple of Silence? Well, to put it simply, it's an organization that has existed in Sumeru for over 1,000 years. These days, you can find a Temple of Silence office in the Academia. Theoretically, it's responsible for the custody and disposal of information and documents not fit for public dissemination. At least, that's what they tell the outside world. In truth, it's essentially a vestigial institution nowadays. There's an office with their name on it, but it's functionally obsolete. Historically speaking, the original Temple of Silence is said to have been established by Hermanubis, one of the 7 pillars of King Deshret, and the greatest of all sages. Most of the organization's members hailed from the desert. By contrast, none of the Academia Temple's current members are from the desert region, nor do they use any symbols connected with the desert folk.
So the Temple of Silence at the Academia is just a fake? Wow.
It's possible. The real question is, why? My guess is they're covering something up.
So, how do you know all this? Sounds like some pretty top secret stuff.
Did you forget? He did a stint as acting Grand Sage and kept the pay raise even after he resigned.
Oh, yeah! Paimon did totally forget about that. So you took the chance to read all the top secret documents while you were acting Grand Sage, huh?
If you're asking me whether I familiarized myself with the documentation in my office, I would respond that that's a perfectly normal part of...
So much about this doesn't make sense. Why did the emblem of the Temple of Silence appear on a threat letter from an Academia student to Cyrus? The student's only 16 and doesn't have any family ties to the desert. So where could he have seen that emblem or gotten the paper?
You said you ran into Cyno, yes? Did you tell him what you...
Yep. He ran off as soon as he heard what we said.
Given that Cyrus is involved, he's probably halfway through solving the case by... Still, we should try to catch up with him. At this hour of the night, Cyno...
If the Academia's Temple of Silence really does exist just to cover up the truth, the sudden appearance of this emblem can't be good. Sure, we should pay a visit to the Academia.
Yes. As the Sage of Amorta, my master ought to know the truth about their office. You can ask him to tell you what he knows. The more information we have, the better prepared we'll be for whatever happens there.
If this situation is connected to the real Temple of Silence, the emblem has to be part of a bigger conspiracy.
Kale, could I trouble you to send a message to the Core of 30? Tell them to keep an eye out for Cyno and Cyrus. Traveler, Paimon, you two...
Sounds like a plan.
Cyrus has been living in the city lately. He rented a place near the field so he can keep an eye on his tomato plants. Here we are. This is the place.
We might be too late. Looks like nobody's home. Oh, Cyno moves fast. If he was here, he's probably on...
I know that voice. Is that Tainari I hear?
Professor Zaha Hadid!
Wow, so it really is you. My goodness, whatever is going on tonight?
We're looking for Cyno. So, he's already...
Yes, not long ago, in fact. He knocked on my door and asked if I told him the old fool left early this morning, and I hadn't heard him come back. So we went to his place, and would you believe it? He's gone. It must have alarmed Cyno, because he took off in an awful hurry after that. He never did explain what this was all about.
Well, if Cyrus isn't at home...
Professor, did you hear that a student recently...
Why, yes. When I left the house that day, I noticed he was watering his flowers in the field in complete silence. He had a piece of paper clutched in his hand, and he looked lost in thought. I could tell something was troubling him, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. If Cyno hadn't happened to visit him that day, he'd probably still be holding on to... After seeing the letter, Cyno told him to contact the Core of 30, but Cyrus was very reluctant. He claimed it would only damage his reputation. Eventually, he relented. After...
Huh? Cyrus didn't want to report it? Well, that's strange. When we saw him, he seemed pretty okay with the idea of the kid getting his just desserts.
As a former sage, it's possible Cyrus still has enemies at the Academia. That's why Cyno was so insistent that he report the matter to the authorities. I was there while they were going back.
So Cyrus initially hoped to stop this from going public.
Oh, dear. What on earth has that old fool gotten himself wrapped up in? Oh, I do hope. Oh, I almost forgot. Cyno left me this letter to pass on to you. He wrote it when he came by earlier. He realized you might come looking for him.
Thank you.
What does it say? Let Paimon take a look.
My friends, this is rather complicated. Very unfortunate. I cannot disclose more than that. I ask you to understand and accept that I had to act alone at this stage. Don't come after me.
My friends, this is a rather complicated state of affair. Unfortunately, I cannot disclose more than that. I ask you to understand and accept that I had to act alone at this stage. Don't come after me.
Yep, that sounds like Cyno. Thank you, Professor. Please do not worry. We will do all we can to protect both Cyno and Cyrus. Traveler, Paimon, let's head to the Academia and regroup.
You're here? I thought you were going after... Ah, I guess you lost their trail.
We went to Cyrus's house. No one was there. Cyno got there before us, but he was long gone by the time we arrived.
He didn't say where he was going?
No, he left us a letter and told us not to go after him.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Typical Cyno. Anyway, some updates on progress on our end. I drew the emblem from memory again, but in more detail this time.
Ooh.
I checked some ancient texts for a similar design. The one I found was a little blurry, but the similarities in the general form and certain details were clear enough to confirm a match.
Yeah, and we're lucky we found anything at all. It turns out the emblem was all but lost to history. We scoured the entire Academia collection, and that book was the only one with a record of the motif.
Meanwhile, Arov managed to get Baraka to disclose his source. The one who told him about Cyrus's embezzled funds was a young man from the desert. According to Araka, he had a striking presence and was well educated.
Apparently, the two met in the tavern over a game of cards. The guy claimed to be in the city for business, as part of a merchant caravan. Uraka was intrigued when he heard what his new acquaintance had to say, and brought up the idea of extorting Cyrus for Mora. The guy encouraged him to go ahead with it, then handed him some pen and paper to write the letter.
I see. So it could be that this person planted the paper intentionally.
So, how do we find this guy? Did Uraka say where he is?
He doesn't know. He claims not to have seen him since that day in the tavern. The man gave him some tips on how to carry out the extortion, But from then on, Uraraka was acting...
Nephis and Arav have gone to meet the Court of 30 and review the city's entry and exit records. Also, Nephis admitted that the Temple of Silence in the Academia is just a facade. The true Temple of Silence once came to the rainforest to establish a collaboration with the Academia. But, as time went by, the sages gradually became corrupt and fooled. The Temple of Silence felt that they could no longer trust the Academia and ended the partnership. They retreated back to the desert about 400 years ago. Ever since its inception, the Temple of Silence has been the guardians of King Deshret's civilization and belief system. They traveled throughout Sumeru, sequestering and guarding any wisdom that posed a threat to the people's livelihoods. At its roots, it was a legitimate and reputable organization whose purpose was to guide people towards the right path.
The academia of the day knew that the split would damage their reputation if it became a matter of public knowledge. And so, they set up a dummy organization of their own to conceal the truth.
Not only that, but they managed to keep up the charade for hundreds of years!
So how did Cyrus become acquainted with the true Temple of Silence if they left centuries ago?
I'll bet that's the question that bothered Cyno. Probably why he went after him in such a rush.
Whoever was behind this, getting Uraraka to extort Cyrus was only the first step of the plan. Their true goal in doing so was for Cyrus to see the emblem on the letter.
He must have recognized it right away. That'll be why he didn't want to involve the authorities. He probably hoped to take care of the whole thing by himself. Unfortunately for him, Cyno had other plans.
Since the desert is where the Temple of Silence originated, that is in all likelihood where Cyrus went.
I have to go out.
Really? Are you sure that's a good idea, with how you respond to the heat? Why don't we send someone else?
I should be fine, as long as I bring plenty of water. Besides, I just can't shake this ominous feeling that if we don't catch up to them soon...
Everyone, I have news from the Core of 30.
Master!
Oh, so that's Nephis, Tainari's master? Oh, we're finally getting...
It's a pleasure to meet you, Traveler in Paimon. Several independent eyewitnesses have reported seeing Cyrus and Mahamatra Cyno leaving the city at different times. Both were heading in the direction of Caravan Rebat. I was going to suggest that you join forces with the Core of 30 in this case. However, as I'm sure you've already heard from Al-Haytham and Kaveh, the Academia has made a number of decisions throughout history that I am ashamed to talk about. It may well be that no better choice was available to them, but those actions are nonetheless a stain on our legacy. I won't attempt to make you understand the Academia's perspective. Now is the time for action.
I understand where you're coming from, Master. But I'm afraid the situation might be more complicated than we thought. I think we need to keep a low profile, or risk making...
Good point. If Cyrus is involved with the other side, or worse, that he's fallen into their hands, and... Everyone, we have to get Cyrus and Cyno back safely. We cannot afford to lose them.
Need our help? Whatever you need, we got you covered.
Really? Wonderful. You have my most sincere gratitude. Arav and I will continue to follow up on the lead from Uraraka. Kaveh, Scribe, Tainari. You are planning to go into the desert, correct?
I am. Kaveh, I'll be okay. You stay behind to help...
Well, if you're sure...
Thank you all. Arav, let's go.
You'd better get moving. Don't forget to ask for help when you need it.
Will do. Let's go, Tainari. Hopefully we can catch up with Cyno.
Knowing him, he's probably covered a fair distance already. But we still have a shot.
Okay, we made it to Caravan Rabat. Maybe we should ask the nearby guards if they've seen anything.
Hold on. Look.
Is that Dia?
You sure you want to brave the desert alone? I mean, it's your choice at the end of the day.
It's not my first time. I'll be fine.
Cyno.
If you're really going to go through with this, then at least take our advice. When you're packing for your trip, budget for 5 days more than you plan to spend out there.
Makes sense.
Thought we might find you here. You're trying to retrace Cyrus's steps, aren't you?
Didn't I tell you not to come after me? I thought I had a good lead on.
Sorry, but we never agreed to that. Why would you go off on your own?
Nothing personal. It's just a complex situation. And I'd rather not involve anyone else if I can help it.
Takes a special kind of person to get Cyno chasing them all the way out to Caravan Rebat. But why so coy today, huh? You only gave us his age and description. Why can't you reveal his name? Is he Sumeru's most wanted or something? Oh, also, hey guys, it's been a while.
Dia and Candace! So nice to see you.
You're looking well. Glad to see it. Candace and I came to Caravan Rebat on business. We ran into Cyno as he was asking about some elderly gentleman's whereabouts. Some people say they saw him. Guess he stood out as an older guy heading into the desert alone. That's gotta be one heck of a story.
Cyno, it's okay if you can't tell us anything about the case. But we're here to help however you need. The more people we have working on this, the quicker we'll be able to find the...
No, it's not that simple. If I'm right, we'll be doing everything we can to avoid...
We spoke with Zaha Hadid. From what she said, it's pretty clear that he wants to try and solve this on his own. It won't be easy trying to find him in the desert when he's deliberately trying to cover his tracks.
Sounds like this is far more complex.
Still, if he started from Caravan Rebat, the chances are that his route took him past our village. You may as well ask if anyone there has seen...
My thanks to you both. Once this is resolved,
come on. No need to get all serious. Just buy a round of drinks next time we're all in the city or something. All right, so...
Yes, we'll handle it from here. Thank you again for...
All right, then we'll leave you to it. Just remember, if you change your mind and need some reinforcements, we'll be here.
And don't think you'd be imposing. You can depend on us.
Don't worry, we'll keep him out of trouble.
Hold on. There's a few things I'd like to clear up.
Go on.
So, after you left the campsite, we had a longer talk.
Clearly, we've only scratched the surface of the Temple of Silence question. It doesn't surprise me at all that the one in the Academia is a fake.
Do you have any connection with the Temple of Silence?
I do. I trust you're all aware of the spirit that gives me my power. Hermanubis, the original founder of the Temple of Silence. Due to my unique constitution, I was put through a number of trials in the desert when I was younger. Later, I met the professor, and he brought me to Sumeru City. But my memory of that time is hazy. I can't recall much. It's a good thing that Kaveh noticed the emblem on the letter. Without that, I don't know if we would have connected the dots and realized there was more to this case than mere extortion. I did not recognize that symbol at all. Whether that's because I've never seen it, or because my memory fails me, it's hard to say.
Yeah, you're right. Thank goodness for Kaveh, and for all Hatham's diligence during his time as acting Grand Sage.
But Cyrus must have recognized it right away, right? Otherwise he wouldn't have had any qualms about you reporting it. Oh, maybe the Temple of Silence goes even deeper than yours.
I suspect so too. Professor has never once mentioned the Temple of Silence in conversation. And whenever the conversation turns to Hermanubis and the concept of spirit indwelling, he avoids going into any depth.
Well, speaking of avoiding things, you do realize, don't you, now that we've caught up with you, you're stuck with us for the rest of the way.
I am aware. Or rather, I don't see how I could manage to ditch you en route. So, I might as well accept that you're coming with me.
That's right. Fact is, we're coming with you whether you like it or not. So the best option now is to try to look out for each other.
Fair enough.
Works for me. All right, off we go. Let's start by seeing what the guards here can tell us.
Hello.
Mahamatra Cyno?
I'm looking for something. So I'd like to confirm any recent foot traffic in and out of our...
A man matching that description passed by Aru village not too long ago. He stopped by to load up on food and water and feed his sumpter beast, and he was on his way.
Where was he going?
Let me think. He took a seat by the entrance of the village for a while, and had a brief chat with the person who came to deliver the water. He said he was headed somewhere near an oasis, but he didn't mention which one. Do you have a map? I can mark out the direction he was heading and the best routes to any nearby oases.
I have one. Mark away.
Great. There you go.
Thank you so much. You were a great help.
You've got a really good memory.
You're quite welcome. Just doing my job. Best of luck. I hope you find him soon.
Why do I keep opening this thing? Damn. Let's just... well,
This kind of weather is more enjoyable.
Hold on.
Do you think it's safe to...
Should you? I'll go...
No. I'll do it.
Huh? Why can't Cyno go talk to them?
Given my background, appearance, and the way I dress, I might not be the most welcome visitor here. Just in case, it's probably better to let a more neutral...
Hello there. I hope I'm not interrupting. My friend and I are looking for an elderly man who's gone missing around these parts. Any chance I could...
Oh, a missing person, huh? Sure. What do you want to know?
I'm just wondering if you've seen him.
So, a silver-haired guy in a long robe, culture type with thoughtful eyes, and
he'd stand out like a sore thumb around.
Yeah, sounds like the kind of guy we'd remember if he's
looking behind me.
Your friend over there... Hey! Aren't you Cyno, the General Mahamatra?
Yes, that's me.
You don't seem surprised that I recognize...
It wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, you're the one looking for the old man who's gone missing.
I have a bad feeling about this guy.
Someone's on edge. No need to hide it. I understand why you're wary of this. Still, you came to us asking for help.
I thought you were a group of merchants.
Your henchmen don't look like much, but something tells me they put up a better fight than most mercenaries.
Hey! Hear that, guys? Hear my henchmen?
Suits me, as long as I get paid for it.
Just cut to the chase already. I'm running out of patience.
Alright, come with me. All of you. Don't you want to find your friend? Silver-haired, long-robed, culture type with thoughtful eyes? Sounds like there's a whole other side to Cyrus I didn't know about.
So you know where he is?
Just follow me.
What? Where are you looking?
Please, step.
Ooh, something's coming out of the ground!
What is this enormous building doing here?
And how was it so well hidden?
Wait, hold on.
Is this the Temple of Silence?
All good questions. There'll be plenty of time to address them.
This is not what Paimon was expecting to find in the desert, especially not hidden right next to an oasis. Ooh, Paimon's scared. They must have kidnapped Cyrus. Do you think this is the...
What's wrong? Thinking about your professor?
I just hope for your sake you haven't done anything.
Me too. Hope I haven't done anything to incur your wrath.
Oh wait, what? Can we keep this spot? I think we can, right? Oh wait, tell me we get to keep this spot. This seems like a very sick place to visit.
Alright, you can wait here for now. I'll inform our leader that you've arrived at the Temple of Silence. Sit tight until he comes to greet you.
So he's just gonna leave us here, unattended?
They can't have been at the oasis by chance. They were waiting for us. Whoever the leader is here, they were obviously...
So this is the Temple of Silence. After leaving the rainforest, they hid themselves here?
Hey, look! That guy's...
Don't worry. Someone will come and call for you.
What's your name?
Sorry, guess I was so deluxe. My name is Sethos. I'll be here if you need me, but I'm not planning on answering all of your questions. Other than that, you can occupy yourselves.
So we're free to...
Yep. I mean, I'm not worried about you running. Cyrus is here. And unless I've misunderstood...
He's right. Well, if we...
Hey, Sethos!
Sure. Although, I'm assuming by chat, you mean you have questions for me? Not often. The Temple of Silence is a place of quiet and solitude. We don't get too many visitors. Yes, that was easy. Although, tricked is a stretch. He was asking everyone in the tavern about ways to make some easy money. He insisted that nothing was off the table, even if it broke the law. So, I told him that Cyrus had embezzled a large sum of mora from the desert.
So you framed Cyrus for a crime that...
No. That's not entirely true. Let me jog your memory. The letter just said that he had uncovered Cyrus's secret. It didn't say what secret that was. Of course, Uraka was a great accomplice, really. Very cooperative with a little bit of lying. Did exactly what he was told. And not much of an original thinker, though. It doesn't surprise me that he struggles academically.
Why did Cyrus leave for the desert as soon as he received the letter?
You'll have to ask him that one yourself. Certain things I can't answer for him. I'm neither judging nor defending. All you need to know is that he recognized our emblem. And it was his own choice to take the bait. What kind of question is that? He's the General Mahamatra. Everyone in Sumeru knows who he is.
Right, but back at the Oasis, he'd have known who he was for sure, or you wouldn't have asked him. So, what we're really asking is...
I've lived in the desert my whole life. Guess you could say...
Ugh, why does Paimon feel like this guy's not me?
Come on, we've only just met. If I give you all the answers up front, you'll have nothing left to look forward to. Nope.
Really?
I have no need to go there. Not when the taverns are full of the Urakas of this world. Besides, we're well aware of what goes on in that place. Spies? It's not as clandestine as that. The city gates are wide open. Anyone's free to walk in. You can find out all you need to know just by walking around town and hearing the word on the street. Mm-hmm.
I never imagined that the true Temple of Silence would be hidden somewhere like this. We've passed through these parts before, but never noticed anything.
That's King Deshret's technology for you, I guess. It borders on the miraculous. Amazing to think that it's been preserved intact all this time.
We should be wary of our hosts. Still, at this point, we can be confident that the professor is safe and sound, so that's something.
Ah, here he is. Grandfather, the person we wish to see is...
Well done, Sethos. Greetings, one and all. I am Ba Moon, the current leader of the Temple of Silence. I know why you are here, and I...
Professor!
Cyrus, are you...
Watch what you're doing!
Oh, my apologies. We have no intention of causing you distress. But you must understand, Cyrus is of great importance to us. We had to find a way. Cyrus owes me his life. And to the Temple of Silence, he owes a debt of gratitude.
I let him go a long time ago, but now the time has come to demand payment.
I wanted to end my feud with this old bag of bones before you caught up with me. Just leave, Cyno. This is a matter between us two old men. You're all...
So that's why you didn't want to report the letter. You'd made up your mind to come here from the beginning. You only left in such a hurry to try and throw us off your
Some things in life catch up with you. No matter what you do, you shouldn't have come.
Cyno didn't make us do anything. We came here for the same reason he did. To rescue you. We'd appreciate you telling us the truth. Otherwise, it seems a little unfair on everyone who had to stay behind.
My secrets are secret for good reasons. Bringing them to light can only...
You're afraid, aren't you? You can't bring yourself to speak of your past deeds to the students you nurtured as if they were your own children. You recognized our emblem because for many years you lived among us. Indeed, you all but became one of us. You knew as soon as you saw the letter that we, not Uraka, were the ones speaking to you. It threatened you only because you know what you did. For you, Cyrus, are a traitor. You once shared your learning with us, and joined us in our mission to revive the might of Hermanubis, to bring new hope, new opportunity. But then, you betrayed us. You bargained for your independence with your past contributions. And then you left, taking with you Hermanubis' might and the wielder of his power. We both know what I said to you that day. That as the leader, I grant you permission to leave. But that one day, the sands of time will catch up with you. And when that day comes, you must pay the price you owe.
You really know how to hold a grudge.
Hermanubis' might? And the wielder of his power?
Does he mean you?
Moon is right. I came here once before. They rescued me from the brink of death once. Many years ago in the desert. When he learned that I was a scholar, he invited me to come here. Revive the might of Hermanubis together. It was a great, daring plan. One shrouded in secrecy. The Temple of Silence had been bereft of Hermanubis for too long. The strength of its faith and its warriors were waning. Bamoon proposed that we implant bar fragments, shards of Hermanubis, into the bodies of suitable vessels. If the experiment was successful, the spirit of Hermanubis within many believers volunteered themselves for the experiment. But we soon discovered that the bodies of grown adults could not withstand Hermanubis' power. In the end, Bamoon offered his own adoptive grandson. One other child was identified as a suitable vessel, and his parents agreed to release him into our custody in exchange for a small fortune. These two children were our only hope for hosting Hermanubis' power.
For many years, the Temple of Silence had been in possession of 2 Ba fragments from Hermanubis. As remnants of his raw power, they were exceedingly rare treasures. The test subjects were sent into a room that had been prepared for the ceremony, and instructed to approach the Ba fragments, whose power had been amplified. If, after some time, this power did not repel them, this would mean that they were... The original plan was for a 3-stage experiment. Resonance, implantation, and recovery and observation. The resonance stage went quite smoothly for both candidates. As the second stage began, I realized a decision had to be made. Should we implant the fragments one at a time? This would allow us to monitor the results after the first round and adjust our plan accordingly. Or, alternatively, we could implant each fragment in a different vessel at the same time and compare their effects.
But as I was deliberating, both bar fragments suddenly became active. They glowed with a light I had never seen before. I knew that if they were not implanted right away, they would disintegrate and be gone from the world for good. Our two vessels had both displayed great promise by successfully resonating with the fragments. Under the circumstances, the thought of implanting both fragments into the same vessel seemed out of the question. To preserve our faith and our power, we implanted each of them with a single fragment.
Ultimately, I ended the experiment and left.
In recognition of your past contributions, I chose not to send someone to hunt down and kill you both. Your lives were spared, but I have paid a great price for your betrayal ever since. I have always wanted to see you, Cyno. Losing you and your bar fragment dealt us a devastating blow. We've been in decline ever since you left.
I see. So that's how I gained my power.
Look, in essence, I borrowed your bar fragment for a decade. Now you're seeking justice. If you want to take my life, then so be it. I'm an old man now, but you cannot lift a finger against Cyno. He is the General Mahamatra. Your actions would be seen as a declaration of war against the Academia.
I'm sure you don't remember anymore, dear Cyno, but you've met us all before. You were so young then, when we all gathered around and celebrated the revival of our Lord. You and he, Sethos, you were our final hope.
You'd like me to return my power?
As a follower of Hermanubis, I have allowed this power to remain in the rainforest for far too long. Now,
that power is not yours to reclaim. Cyno was chosen by the gods.
You are wrong. Cyno was chosen, but he was not the only one. My child, Sethos, has the same...
So those are your terms for freeing the professor?
Despise me all you want. My sins are my own. The Temple of Silence is an innocent party. It is because of my foolishness all those years ago that the Temple's glory has waned. And now I must take responsibility for the decision I made.
So what you're saying is, the power of one Ba fragment is not enough? You're asking me to return the one in my possession, so it can be implanted in him and...
Divine power causes great suffering to those who need it. How do you know that Sethos would be able to...
He is no longer a small child. But regardless, this burden is ours to bear. And your objections mean little, given that you turned your back on us long ago.
Both my heart and mind are telling me that what you are proposing...
Don't listen to him, Cyno. That power is no more yours to give than it is his to take.
I know. But if this is a question of your freedom versus a fragment of power, then...
Sorry to interrupt, but in my view, there are a number of contentions here that still need address. Say that Cyno refuses to return his power, and you also refuse to release Cyrus. Then, we are at an impasse. I find it hard to believe that you went to all this effort without planning for that possibility. You're trying to gauge where we stand while keeping your remaining cards close to your chest. Well, my stance is, put the rest of your cards on the table. Then we can...
Wait, those ears. So, we have a descendant of the Valukashuna in our midst. Splendid! Everything we have longed for, Hermanubis will provide. Perhaps this very day, we will...
Why is he coughing so much?
Take our leader back to his room. Grandfather, I know what you wish to say.
I don't like to drag out conversations, Had Cyrus not stopped the experiment all those years ago, the plan would most likely have been a success. The wisdom of Hermanubis would have been ours, still. It's no use talking about what ifs. We can't. I'm not like my grandfather. The Temple of Silence has a grand legacy and a sacred duty to fulfill. So it's somewhat inevitable for the leader to have an inflated sense of self. But I see things a little differently. I don't believe the temple has the same stature that it once did. Time has worn away at its prestige, so I'm not going to force your hand. You're all free to leave, except for Cyrus. My grandfather gave him his chance once, and now I'm...
You have courage and wise judgment, kid. Reminds me a lot of Bamu. I truly wish that the temple would take an objective look at the academia of today. You've been to the city yourself. I'm sure you've seen that much has changed for them. Things will only continue to improve. Why not consider cooperating with the academia once more?
If you hadn't betrayed my grandfather, I might well be open to persuasion. But it's a bit too late for that.
Tainari made a good point earlier. He said there has to be more to your plan than this. All you and Ba Moon are after is the Ba fragment. The professor will accept whatever fate you deem fit for him out of a sense of guilt. I am the one who has a choice to make. And that's how it was always going to be. Ultimately, you want to trade the Ba fragment for the professor.
I'm glad to see you're giving it some serious...
I won't forsake my professor. Nor do I intend to run from a problem that I must face sooner or later.
That works. Then I'll be waiting to hear your verdict. Oh, my grandfather still has a fair few things he wants to say to Cyrus, so...
Are you sure about negotiating with him?
I need to think this through. Everyone lets me...
All right, well, don't put too much pressure on yourself, Cyno. If you need any help...
Okay, what do I do? 20, 24, 20... Why did I do it so low? What the hell? Who? Yeah.
I've taken some time to reflect on this. If I had to guess, Professor Cyrus came to the desert knowing that he would almost certainly never return. He's a stubborn man who tends to double down when he feels strongly about something. We won't get anywhere trying to convince him to escape.
I agree. My master Nephis says the same thing. Once Cyrus makes up his mind about something, he won't listen to reason.
So that's one thing. A few other things come to mind too. You've heard all you need to hear about the Temple of Silence. So on that, I don't have anything to add. My own memories of this place are hazy though. Probably something to do with the overpowering presence of the Ba fragments. That might explain why I suffered from constant headaches and fevers as a child. I do remember having some fleeting moments of profound emotion when vague images would appear in my mind. But I don't recall much, only bits and pieces. I was still young then, and all I could understand was that there was a strong will inside my mind. Thinking back on it now, I suppose it was Hermanubis' way of trying to encourage me, even if he couldn't communicate. The power that came to inhabit my spirit was probably one of the cornerstones of their whole faith. So if the will and might of Hermanubis is a real, intangible thing, and they are its rightful worshippers, then
You're not gonna give in to their demands, are you? Surely there has to be another way.
No. I have no intention of returning it. I need this power to protect Cyno. But the temple has the right to make the final decision over its fate, since it belongs to one of the 7 pillars of King Deshret. So I will challenge them head-on, and win the right to wield this power for myself, fair and square.
This reminds me of something Al-Haytham mentioned to me just before we left. He said that the Temple of Silence was originally founded by the ruling elite of the day. Traditionally, such organizations are bound by a strict and ancient code of nobility. Kaveh has made similar observations about the desert tribes from his work trips there. He says many of them have their own internal rules. They talk about the importance of never dishonoring their tribal bonds, or the rules laid down by their end. I think we could turn that to our advantage. Go back to them with a proposal of our own.
Wow, and just like that, we've turned the tables on them.
Looks like we have the same idea. Turn it back on them now while we still can. In turn.
Great. And I know just how to start the conversation. Let's go find Sethos. We'll tell him that I know...
Sethos.
Have you made up your mind?
We'll get to that, but first, I have some degree of medical training, so I was wondering if you might let me take a...
I have no objections, although we do have our own doctors here. I doubt you'll be able to tell us anything.
Only...
Follow me. Keep your voices down.
Let's talk outside. Bamoon has fallen into a deep coma, and his prognosis is quite grave. I'm sure that he appears to have sustained a serious injury in his youth, which has been exacerbated over the years by the heavy burden of work and now by the effects of old age. Regretfully, I must inform you that, based on what I've seen with patients in a similar condition, he doesn't have long left.
Yeah.
You're his heir, aren't you? You clearly have a lot of respect for the man. But you also see things differently. You have a broader range of concerns and a more pragmatic approach. So tell me how we can end this on your terms. Let's find a way to bring all this to a resolution while Bamoon is still alive to see it. That's what really...
Yeah, there's no time to waste.
You know, the two of you are actually in a very similar predicament right now. Both of you have a very different perspective from the men who raised you.
Right, and you didn't create this situation. They did, but somehow you've ended up...
You're right. We both look at this problem very differently than the people we inherited it from. I accept, Cyno. This all began because of Hermanubis. So let's end it with the right he himself created. Legend has it that when Hermanubis first arrived in Tulatula, he sparred with the city's residents. He and his 2 companions proved their mettle by fighting over several days, winning the support of many fine. That group of supporters were some of the first members of the Temple of Silence, and the sparring matches were enshrined as one of our founding rights, the right of duels.
Sounds very fitting.
As a fellow vessel of Hermanubis, your ties to the Temple of Silence run deep, so I will permit you to participate in this rite, along with your chosen
3 against 3.
However, I have some additional terms. As the challengers, you must win all 3 of your fights to win. And Cyno, both of us must put our Ba fragment on the line. Letting Cyrus leave with one of the Ba fragments was a mistake, made by my grandfather out of pity. It is a long-standing issue that must be addressed for the Temple of Silence to move forward.
None needed. We're on the same page. If I win, the Temple of Silence must release Cyrus. And consider this past dispute. If you win,
it's a deal. Then let's meet at the ceremonial hall tomorrow evening.
Well, after how that went, there's definitely...
There never was.
You have to win. You need this power.
Yeah, that's right. Besides, it's stayed with you ever since you were a small child. Surely that's a sign it thinks of you as its right...
Both as General Mahamatra. Yeah, when you put it that way. I've had to overcome a lot to tame this power and claim it for myself. Not everyone could have done that.
Exactly!
The Traveler and I will...
And neither shall. The desert was home to an ancient and great civilization that, for a variety of reasons, fell out with the civilization of the rainforest. It's just as Dia said. Prejudice has pushed people apart. But there must be personal factors at work here, too. I can't shake the feeling that Baman cares for many more things than he lets on. And I don't think that Sethos is any kind of villain. Tomorrow.
Something you wish to retort? Oh, you have my undivided attention.
We gather on this day to perform once more the rite of duels, with the greatest of all sages, Lord Hermanubis, as our witness. For his power and authority this is our most sacred of ceremonies, and no disruption from the audience shall be tolerated. It is incumbent upon all to observe the duel with the utmost respect, representing the Temple of Silence, the Defenders.
Grandfather, you're here.
A rite of duels after all these years.
I know what I'm doing, Grandfather.
Representing the Academia, the challenge.
Ready. We will fight to have our voices heard.
Warriors, take your position. We come not to debate what brings our challengers here, nor what will become of the defeated duelists. Duelists, the might of Hermanubis himself is at stake here. Now, fight.
Huh? Are you sure?
I agree. He's very strong. Sending him out first will definitely intimidate the...
Okay, then you're...
Sure.
We have decided.
So have we.
Duelists of the first bout, please step forward.
You better play nice with them or Paimon will make you regret it.
Little bit too much chatter from the audience over there.
Scatter! A swift end to the first bout. I now invite the duelists of the second bout to please step forward. When you're both ready,
Let's begin.
Watch out!
He drank plenty of water before the bout, so he should be fine.
Yeah. One with the forest. Keep up. Can't see? Rah. Yeah, I'll uproot you!
thus ends the second bout. We will now move.
I'm ready.
So am I.
This is the final stage of the rite. I remind you both that the terms you agreed upon in advance are binding.
I am Sethos, vessel of Hermanubis, grandson of Bamun, the leader of the Temple of Silence. For many years, we have kept our covenant with Lord Hermanubis by guarding the secrets of King Deshret. And even in our darkest hour, when we could not see a way forward, we chose not to abandon hope, but to embark on a brave new experiment so that we might prevail. We earnestly sought Lord Hermanubis' wisdom and power, longing to see his spirit and his light descend upon us. Now, I will fight to become the rightful wielder of that power.
I am Cyno, General Mahamatra of the Academia, student and successor of Cyrus, the Sage of Spontamon. I fight in defense of my power, my professor, and my nation. And you, I think you left some things unsaid. This is a sacred duel, and Hermanubis is watching. So bare your soul.
Everyone, old and young, fit and frail, they're all waiting to see how this duel will end. My grandfather is a wise leader. He is also known to be a ruler who is not afraid to get blood on his hands. I understand his beliefs well, and I know what he expects of me. But our faith has held us back for too long. After I grew up, I went to the rainforest once, and I saw for myself the people of the city. Times have changed. The people of Sumeru are happier and more free now than in the past. I thought about this as I stood at one of the tallest points in the city, gazing down at the streets below. Then I thought of you, Cyno. You and I both wield the same power. The lives we lead could not be more different. Each bar fragment of Hermanubis stands for something different. Might, glory, and one of many other secrets that have yet to be revealed. I once thought that the nature of our fragments must be what makes us so different from one another. But maybe it's that you've found your answer, and I am still searching for mine.
I am more than just a warrior. I am my own person.
Exactly.
The name Hermanubis has left its mark on both of us, shaped the course of our lives. We are his vessels, and yet we are more besides. So show me your answer, Cyno. Show me I can be more than my faith, more than the power I wield. Show me the person I can become! Bring it on!
That's all you've got. What happened is searching for your answer.
Fight's over. Do you yield?
You won.
Well done. Looks like you found your answer.
I give his glory to you.
I've seen that light. That is the light of our Lord, the great Hermanubis, priest over all other priests. His spirit dwells within that lightning, and his will lives on. Once a warrior of Tynar, he emerged from the barren desert sands to serve the god king Al-Ahmar. After the death of the god king, Hermanubis gathered his followers and the Tynarian priests and led them to the city of Tula. There, they founded the Temple of Silence, and from that day forth, we became stewards of all knowledge that survived from King Deshret's civilization. Barely a century passed before war ravaged the desert. One by one, Eremite leaders took up arms against each other in battles that would devour what little remained of their civilization. Only the wise city of Tula was spared under the guiding hand of the Tynarians. But peace did not last. Coveting the knowledge of King Deshret, the beasts set their eyes on Tula. The king of Gurabad laid siege to the city and ordered the sages to surrender to him the Temple of Silence. as proof of his victory. The ruling elite colluded with their oppressors, betraying the temple so as to hold on to their rule over the city. They declared that the knowledge guarded by the temple was the true cause of corruption. These were dark days, and we faced enemies on all sides. Our Lord had long since exhausted his strength, keeping the forbidden knowledge introduced by King Deshret at bay. To ensure the temple's continued survival, he broke his being into many pieces and began the ceremony of Hermanubis' legacy, bestowing his power upon his mortal followers. With this power, the temple was able to defeat the tyrant's army. Yet, we were not hailed as heroes. Strange and unfamiliar as this power was, it struck fear into the people's hearts and drove them to reject us. In the end, the people of the temple and the Tule Tula Tainarians left the city for good and made their way to the rainforest. What followed next was inevitable. The elite of Tule Tula fell and were decimated. War engulfed the desert. And we wandered from place to place, always in hiding, all the while keeping close watch over our secrets and staying true to our mission. Betrayal forced us out of the desert and into the forest. Then mistrust drove us from the forest into the desert once more. We have lived in exile for far, far too long. Yet, today, the Temple of Silence has borne witness to the glory of Hermanubis once more. Thank you.
How is it? Do you feel okay?
Oh, that's crazy, dog.
Grandfather.
Hey, Sethos.
I know. I guess you were prepared for this. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. He's been on death's door for a very long time now. I think it was only through sheer willpower that he managed to hold on at this point. At least, he was able to see this chapter come to a close.
What's next for you?
Per my grandfather's last wishes, the Temple of Silence should submit to whoever possesses the largest number of Hermanubis fragments. That entitles you.
But that's never going to work, as I'm sure you realize. I'm the General Mahamatra. I am needed back at the Academe. I did foresee this possibility, and I gave it some thought. The fact is, I know next to nothing about the staff, records, and environment here. As such, I am Sethos. I believe the honor should, were it not for this duel, or indeed if you had other intentions, the Ba fragments would most likely be in your hands by now. I'm sure Bamu never meant for anyone but you to be his successor. I do.
Still, I didn't think Bamoon looked very surprised by the final result. Perhaps he had an inkling that this would be the way things...
Well, in any case, since the Ba fragments are with me now, I guess I can call the shot, Sethos. I would like you to succeed Bamu as the new leader of the Temple of Silence. You are more suited to the role than I, and I have complete faith that you will be an excellent leader. Just think of it as doing me a favor.
But doesn't that render everything that we've been through up to now?
No, it doesn't. This experience has allowed us to become friends, which means that the academia, that's a much bigger deal than you might think, Sethos. You said yourself, times have changed. You have to believe that things can change for the better here at the temple, too.
I will try. To be honest, I couldn't have asked for a better...
Actually, part of me wonders whether Bamun's intentions from the very beginning was just to create enough pressure to force us towards a duel. That way, no matter who won, one of us would have to surrender our Ba fragment, and the power of Hermanubis would be concentrated in one single... Had you won, the Temple of Silence would have doubled its strength, and were I to win, he correctly anticipated that I wouldn't suddenly drop everything to become the leader of the temple, much less integrate the temple into the academia by force. He knew that the temple's future would depend not just on the guidance of Hermanubis, but the support of the academia too. So he made it his responsibility to ensure his successor would be free from the burdens of the past. His plan meant that whoever ended up succeeding him, they would have an easier time interacting with the academia. With one single letter, he lured out the professor. No matter what happened after that, it would result in a net benefit to the temple.
And here I thought the General Mahamatra wouldn't care for all these. You're absolutely right. Grandfather and I considered this from every angle. We had to find a way to mend our relationship with the academia. In that sense, the right of duels was just a means to an end. Thank you for everything, Cyno. As a gesture of our gratitude, to those that you and Lesser Lord Kusanali deem worthy, I will grant the honor of access to the Temple of Silence for their pursuit of knowledge. The Temple of Silence has a wealth of information on King Deshret's civilization, more than any other organization in existence today. In times when you need information that only we can provide, we will be here to support you. But you must be exceedingly careful with your selection of candidates, lest you lead humanity to repeat the same mistakes. By the way, Tainari, my grandfather was so happy to see you. You are a descendant of the Veluka Shuna, and we are the heirs to the will of Hermanubis. The story goes that King Deshret chose the sage Hermanubis from among the Tainarians and appointed him as his familiar. He went on to fight many valiant battles with his Tainarian companions. The Tainarians who left Tuletula joined their human counterparts in the rainforest. A few centuries later, when some of the group returned to the desert, many of the Tainarians chose to stay and put down roots in the in all likelihood, those were your ancestors.
How fascinating. My father once mentioned that I was named after the Tainarians, but I never knew that my forebears had such a history with the Temple of Silence.
I like this story.
By the way, has anyone seen...
Yes. Cyrus. You'll probably find him in my grandfather's room. He wouldn't show it in front of me, but I think he still has many fond memories.
If it's true that you and your grandfather really planned for everything to turn out this way, then I guess he didn't really resent Cyrus as much as he...
Who knows? Perhaps all of us. You, me, and Cyrus. We're all just pawns in my...
Someone's got to make the decisions when history is at a crossroads. I will make a detailed report on all of this to Lesser Lord Kusanali, and arrange for an official delegation from the academia to come and meet you in the desert. I'm sure you'll have lots to attend to in the days ahead. But once things return to normal, please come and visit the rainforest again. You should, if we're going to work together, both sides have to get to know one another better.
I will. All right. Well...
See you soon. Come hang out with us anytime.
Let's go. No, oh my god. Okay. Anyways, that was okay. That was a great story. We're to finish it. My leg hurts. Oh gosh, my head, bro. Return to the academia.
What were you thinking, gallivanting off into the desert alone at your age? What if you take the bucket, hmm? You told not a soul what you were up to, designated nobody to handle your affairs, and left everyone scrambling frantically to try and figure out how on earth to clean up the colossal mess you've made.
Oh, please, will you stop your yelling?
What do you mean, what other choice? Do you mean to tell me that after all your years of learning, and sagehood no less, the only idea you could conjure up in that white-haired walnut of yours was to shoot off into the unknown like some hot-headed 20-year-old adventurer? A one-man suicide mission, hmm? That's the best idea that one of the finest minds of a generation can come up with, is it? It astounds me that you survived the journey, and you're lucky that Ba-Moon didn't finish you off when you arrived.
All right. Honestly, the way you're going off on me, it's like you wish you'd been there to lend him a hand.
I've got nothing more to say. What's the point of berating an old bag of...
What do you mean, bag of bones? I'm a flesh and blood hero who, despite his old age, saved our General Mahamatra from being stripped of his... Okay, look. Fine, I admit it, I was in the wrong. How can I make it up to you? What about,
1 month? Try 3.
I know his master is really laying into Cyrus. Let's give them a wide berth.
Professor brought this on himself. Don't pay me.
Wow, I haven't seen Master get this riled up in a long... The last time he chewed someone out like this must have been back when I was still a student.
I think I'll go around and update everyone. Tell them the situation's resolved. We can go for dinner afterwards.
Makes sense. I'm in.
Follow Cyno, blah 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 down here.
Hey, Colin.
You're back! Well, look who we have here. Would you mind explaining to me what has been going on these past few days? I heard you all ran off into the desert and got embroiled in a major...
All taken care of.
That does not answer my question. How could you be so careless? That goes for you as well. When you run into problems, you really ought to ask for help, you know? I've been around the block. Don't you think it would have made sense to involve me? And let's not forget, I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Now would not be a good time to attempt to argue with
You're right.
It's not the first time that I've had to talk to you about this sort of thing either. You need to learn that there are times when the right thing to do is get a more experienced member of staff involved. Do I make myself clear?
Colin, please do something.
He's giving me the signal. Alright, guess it's time to play my ace. Say, Madam Farazan, I can see you're pretty upset. But, I was just wondering, remember that time you offered to give me a tour of the academia?
Huh? Wait, did I hear that right? Kala, you remember? Wonderful. Well, of course the offer still stands. Come on. Madam Farazan will show you around the old classrooms.
Poor Kale getting dragged off like that. Also, check your Farazan acting like some sort of a fish.
Kale! Cup.
Huh? What?
What do you mean, cup?
Oh, it's nothing. Just Master's way of reminding me to stay hydrated while I'm out and about.
It's code for let's reconvene at the cafe. Tainari and I used it while we were in school, and it's become something of a family tradition now.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
2 people left. Let's bring them along.
That's crazy. Okay. Hey, honestly, Tainari and Cyno using that while they're at school is crazy. I should do that with my friends too. Oh.
Am I hallucinating? Or do I see Tave and Alhaitham engaged in diligent studying?
What the?
We're just reorganizing all the books we used. Look, there's a whole mountain of them.
There's no rush. Nobody reads these books anyway.
My sincere thanks to you both.
Yes, with your help, we resolved the issue rather swiftly and painlessly. And the outcome was better than we could have hoped for.
Ugh. Where's my phone?
I see. The Temple of Silence resorted to rather unique means of self-preservation. It explains how they managed to remain hidden for so many years.
And it sounds like they managed to preserve a whole load of ancient documents as well. I'd love to go check those out if I ever had the chance.
That day will come. The Temple of Silence is a hugely important organization, and we'll be sure to maintain good relations with them in the future. Now, as a token of my appreciation, I'd like to treat everyone to coffee.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds great. Although after the last few days, I don't know if I can handle another coffee. But I can just order something else.
Sure. Let's go.
How we get to the cafe? Holy! How long have I've been streaming? What is it? I've been streaming for... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long I've been streaming for. No one again today. Whatever. Oh man. I'm still tired. What time is it? It's 10.
And then the traveler just pounced on their opponent and knocked him right out cold. Then there was Tainari. He put up an amazing fight too. He ended up winning with no battles. Whoa! Part of me wishes I'd been there to see it, but I'd have been biting my nails off worrying.
A truly edifying account of the events. Bereft of detail, but it has livened up the room all the same.
That included all the juicy details. The traveler just pounced, and then waved your sword like this, then split around and blah.
Despite winning 3 bouts in a row, you still ceded the position of leader to him. That's very dignified of you.
Of course. Being dignified comes with being a true champion.
I got to be a champion too for once. I've not sparred much with desert folk before. It was a pretty unique experience.
Yeah! Huge place! It felt like something right out of an epic poem! Imagine this. It was like there was...
Maybe save that one for later, Paimon. Dessert's here.
I think that'll do me for today.
Shall we stop off at the House of Dana again before heading home? We should probably finish putting all those books back.
My thoughts exactly. See you around.
I should get going as well. See you all later. Make sure you get some good rest.
I need to go say thanks to the Core 30 for their help. Also, Sir Nephis says he wanted to introduce me to some of the Academia's work processes. So, I gotta dash too.
Kali's come a long way. She's much more confident at dealing with other people these days.
Everyone's a work in progress. Never stop looking.
Yeah, true.
Life is all about these moments when you can finally relax and hang out with good friends after a job well done. And also, those desserts Cyno got, they were really good. Paimon definitely needs more of those in the future.
Do you 3 have anything planned for the rest of the day? If not, would you come somewhere with me? That's a secret for now.
Okay. I think I can guess what you're talking about.
Well, now Paimon's curious!
I need to stop opening the quick menu. God, no.
Been a while since I last made my way up. Need any help? As you wish.
That's a nice spot, isn't it?
What a great view! We're so happy.
Traveler. Turn around.
Oh my gosh, it's the sunset.
This is my secret base. Somewhere I only bring my best friends. When I was a student, I used to slip away and climb up here all the time, just to clear my head. I was quite young then. Back then, I had a lot of the same questions that Sethos was asking. Who am I? Why do I have this power? And what should I do? Our gifts help us to find our rightful place in the world. That was my experience. And I'm sure Sethos will figure things out in his own time, too.
You two really are like brothers.
I feel the same way. Of course. I see no need to be humble when it comes to the fact.
I still remember one time when we came up here to chat and do our homework. Cyno accidentally dropped a fruit. Luckily, he has fast reflex.
That was the one and only time. Nothing will ever slip from my finger.
Those were good times. I kind of miss the student life.
You know, I really shouldn't be able to imagine Cyno doing something like that, but for some strange reason, the mental image is coming through clear as day.
Then make it stop. There's somebody there. It's... You guys carry on without me.
Okay.
Hey, you're not supposed to jump.
Wait, he just jumped down? What? Who is fighting? Oh, 100. It's a 1-to-1 ratio.
Nowhere to run. Oh my days.
Professor.
Cyno. Just the man I'm looking for. Guess what I found in some old notebooks?
Some old photos?
Can you believe it? This notebook was just sitting in a pile of odds and ends in the Sage's office. I must have forgotten to take it with me, and no one's touched it since. I was at the Academia earlier to discuss my workload with Nephis. I swung by the old office to have a look around, and... well, time flies. Look how tiny you are in this picture. Still a kid.
You look quite young yourself in that. Ah, it's this one. I remember that.
Yep. Looks like her work, all right. Who else could have found just the right angle to make me look so unbelievably hideous?
And this one. Looks like we're both...
Oh, cheeky girl. Taking secret photos of us without a...
Is there something you'd like to say to me, Professor?
Like what? Like, these are good... hey, at moments like this, I hardly know where to begin. I can't pretend I'm a good person. But Moon had every reason to despise me. Well, so do you.
Don't be ridiculous, you old cadre.
Is that not what you wanted me to say? I dreamt of that place many times after leaving the desert. Sometimes I've dreamed that I was doing research with them again. Other times, I dream of the day they saved my life. Oh, it was one of the happiest times of my life. You've matured so much over the years, Cyno.
Since you're my professor, I should save you some face by not calling you out on all the non-answers you just gave.
Good thinking. Take your own advice next time. Seriously, why bully an old man like me? I thought heroes were supposed to be great. Wait, how did I not notice this one earlier?
Lisa strikes again. Just how many did she take?
Look how cute you were when you were little. I remember how well-mannered you were back then, too.
Yeah, and look how serious and professional you used to be.
Oh, I can't compete with you anymore. First you get better than me at the deadpan jokes, and now you're besting me at those little quips, too.
Don't say that. I still have a lot of respect for you.
It's like a father and son moment.
That's more like it. Hey, what would you say to meeting up with Lisa again sometime?
I'd like that. Let's find a time and pay her a visit in Mondstadt.
All right, add it to my schedule. Wait, no. Next week is the tomato growing competition. I have got to beat Zaha Hadid.
Or you could find a real hobby, Professor.
This was... oh. The small moment of them bonding is probably my favorite part. Oh my gosh. This was such a great... oh my god, I love these moments.
Time has passed too quickly. Children have all grown up, but it turns out grown-up kids are no use. When Nephis comes after me, Cyno still can't do anything to protect me.
Great view today. This atmosphere calls for a joke out of left field. To catch the listener unaware.
That was a fun quest. How much primos did I get though? Ooh, not much. Anyways, that's that. I'ma dip out. No more stuff. Blah 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 blah. See ya.